Food for thought. Learning what you don't like is as important as learning what you do like. Because imagine yourself, okay? Imagine yourself, you go to the store and you have a list of items that you need. You need mustard, you need mayonnaise, you need ketchup. But there are 3 brands for each ketchup, mustard, and mayo. How are you going to know which one you like if you've never had either of those 3 condiments? You're going to have to try them. And different ketchup brands and different condiment brands cost different amounts of money. And so you're going to give and a take. One might be more expensive, but it might have higher quality. One might be lower, but it might be the same quality. Some might be the same price, and they are as good as the best. And so you have to try each one. And you figure out you don't like that ketchup brand. So then you move on to the next one. And let's say you get a sample, you get a small bottle, and you try that brand. And you're like, chef's kiss, I love that one. So you repeatedly get that one. But you know those other 2 brands you don't like because the price and the taste. But you like this ketchup brand because the price and the taste are better. That is the same equivalence of you trying different things, you having different experiences, and you seizing the day to have a different opportunity for yourself. Because think about it. You have opportunities everywhere you go to try different things. And each opportunity is like that condiment jar. And the thing that you invest isn't maybe not necessarily money, because you might be getting money for that opportunity. But the thing that you're investing is your time. And that is the thing. You are investing your time to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And if you automatically love something right away, you are so lucky that you have found it. You're so blessed, you're so lucky, you're so fortunate, it's so good for you. But that is most likely not the case, that you find your perfect condiment the first time, unless you're not picky, which to each his own. But it's the same as a job. Most people don't find their job the first one that they have. Because where I'm from, a lot of people work in small mom and pop restaurants first. They obviously most often don't stay there for the rest of their lives working there. And there's no expectation to. That is the thing. You have no expectation to like your first job and make it your career. But you're expected to try different things. At least from my perspective, I think that I'm expected to try different things and like different things and dislike different things. And not to say my point of view or perspective is the right one, but it's the one that works best for me. Maybe not you, maybe for you, but you're going to try different things. And there is a huge emphasis on finding the perfect whatever the first time. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with this show, but it's called The Price is Right. And so basically there is this item, and if you get the price the closest, but you have to be under the price, then you get something, you win something. But it's very far few in between that you get very perfectly close to that price of that item or that trip or the whatever. And that is the thing. That is you and I. Each time we try something, we are getting closer to our right price, to finding our favorite condiment, to finding our ikigai, our true passion. Because a passion doesn't have to be something that's monetary. Yeah, it's great if you can get paid for something that you like to do that no one else really likes to do. That is what most of us strive for, to do something that's like play and get paid for it. But in reality, I don't know if that's applicable. I don't know if that's attainable realistically for your or I's situation. But maybe it's a small goal to strive for. Maybe it's unrealistic, but it goes back to the idea of shoot for the moon and land on the stars. Try. And going back to the point of figuring out what you don't like is that think about someone who keeps telling you the wrong number. Like someone's like, guess the number between 1 and 20. And they're like 10. And then, but like the answer is like 20. And then they're like lower, but then you keep guessing 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It's not meant for you. That's the same principle of your job. That once you figure out something that you don't like or that doesn't work for you, you don't keep going in that same direction, thinking you're going to get closer when you're guessing 1, but the answer is 20. That's the same logic. That's the same idea. Because each yes and no is so valid, and it has a rhyme and a reason, if you want to call it that. And you should know that every X on your board, like imagine, I have like this little board, okay? It's got like cute stuff on it, okay? Imagine that board. And imagine that it has, I have to set this back up. It's crooked, but that's okay. Imagine that you have a board and there we go. Imagine you have that board, but there's paper on it and there's X's and checks. And you have so many X's on that board. And then all of a sudden you have this blank spot. Okay. X's, 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 and this blank spot. And then you're like, what if I try this? Because I know none of this works. Let me try this. And then it's your check mark. Maybe that's what you have been waiting for. Maybe that's after all these trials of figuring out what you don't like. And like I said, there's such an emphasis, at least like, I guess from my perspective, that I think that there's such like an emphasis of like trying to find the perfect thing right away. But at least for me, I don't know what age you are, but take it into your context, that there's such an emphasis to find what you want when you're young and to be able to do it for the rest of your life. And I did like receive a comment that was like, it's a good thing to figure out what you want to do when you're young, so then you can work towards it. And I 110% agree. I could not agree more with that comment, because there is an importance of trying to figure it out when you're young. You might not get it, you might not get a home run, but you might get a few foul balls. Baseball reference. You might get a few foul balls, or you might even get a double or a single. And that's okay. And you might get a few strikes while you're at it. You might get hit with the ball. Yeah, you definitely do get hit with the ball. But sometimes you swing a blind swing. Just imagine yourself at a pitching mound? No, batting mound. Batting, whatever. Didn't play softball or baseball, obviously. And you swing with your eyes closed. And you hit a home run. If you didn't swing, you would have never had the opportunity to hit that home run. It goes back to that saying of, like a basketball reference, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't make. Let me retry that. You miss 100% of the shots you do not take. Sometimes you're hot-handed, that you've got a hot shot that night, that you make all your shots, and then other times you're just off and you don't make any. But that is the thing. You learn more from the shots that you do not make from than the ones that you do make. Because the ones that you make are kind of like progress, and the ones that you don't make are like what you need to work on. And that's the same thing with just trying to find out the things that you like and don't like. Finding those misses, figuring out why you don't like it, specifically what, like, I guess it's just like reasons why you don't like it is what I'm trying to say. Like the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. When does it work with your schedule? What are some aspects that you don't like? Yeah, what are some aspects that you don't like? Why don't you like those, that or those aspects? Who do you not like working with? Oh my goodness, I can't think of it, but like the 5 W's. Figure it out. And when you can check something off the list, it's one less thing you have to worry about. And then it leaves the space of like infinite of things that you could do. And it's very scary to think about all the millions, trillions, billions of things that you could be doing. But then you're like, what capability or gift do I have? What gift do I have to be able to explore? And just that endless opportunity. Think of it as an opportunity to try everything. Look at it as the chance to say yes or no, because you have every opportunity to do something good for yourself and for someone else. And you are never too low to help someone else out. Because as soon as you can help someone else out, then it's like a reward to know that all the suffering that you've been through, all the yeses, all the nos, all the I don't knows was worth it if you just help one person. Because then you know that you are doing something bigger than yourself, and that maybe you do have a purpose. And you and I are here together, doing life together, out of the possibilities of us existing at the same time. We are here for a reason. Something bigger than you and I will ever know at this time and point. But it all begins with figuring out what you do and don't like. And most importantly, what you don't like. Food for thought.